What's up, the world? It's your boy Tommy Mab. I just came in because I wanted to speak on something that's bothering me. And I'm gonna be bluntly honest. Right now, Luca is killing the Lakers. To me, it just looks weird, right? If you watch the games, Luka dominates the ball like 90% of the time, right? He takes forever to get a shot off 90% of the time, and he's holding the ball so long. It's hard for anybody else to really get to get their shot, get some rhythm. I like it better when they switched it up. Sometimes LeBron brought it up, sometimes Austin Reed brought it up, sometimes Luka. But without LeBron bringing it up, they're a train wreck, man. If you watch the games, they try to compare Luka's passing to LeBron's passing. It's not the same. Luka does kind of like what Jokic does. He kind of holds the ball, and then when he gets double teamed or whatever, he'll pass. He's not actually reading the defense. He's just kind of waiting for help defense to come and then throwing it to an open person, which is not what LeBron does. When LeBron passes, what LeBron does is LeBron has a tendency to see matchups. Like LeBron will see a matchup and LeBron will move the players around until he has the best possible matchup, so that even if they have to pass it with the clock down, LeBron can get it to the right person, and the right person can make the shot. Will have the best advantage. LeBron looks for advantage, mismatches. Luka doesn't look for mismatches. He just looks for either people at the 3-point line, which is 90% of what he does. He just kind of penetrates and then finds a three-point guy. And most of the time, he's looking for specific people. He's not actually looking for any disadvantages. He rarely ever passes the ball to Rui. He rarely ever passes the ball to Austin Reed. He generally only passes the ball to Finney Smith, or he'll throw a lob for a dunk. So essentially, when he knows he's going to get an assist, that's when he passes. So when you're watching the game, it's hard to watch Luka, because Luka plays very bad basketball. Like, he plays bad basketball. And being around, watching LeBron play for so long, it has to be driving him crazy, because he plays bad basketball. Like, Luka plays really bad basketball. Like, he will hold the ball and take the most weird, bad contested shot, and it kind of goes back to the thing of Luka is good because he's limited, but he doesn't understand, in order for him to get his shot off, it requires him to hold the ball for an incredibly long amount of time. And and a lot of times he's either trying to get a foul or he's passing when he thinks he can get a sure assist, which is not good basketball all the time. Sometimes you gotta let ball movement happen, get the ball to the open person. That's how they were playing when Luka first got on the team. But I don't think Luka liked it, because he was only averaging like 25, 26 points. He doesn't strike me as somebody who's willing to drop his points down. So then LeBron got hurt, and ever since LeBron got hurt, it seems as if he's flipped into this thing where he's kind of holding the ball and coming up and down and shooting a lot, which his 3-point shot has been going down. So I think 3-point, when he shoots his 3, he's been doing good. It's just the plays outside of the plays where he actually scores. When he doesn't, I mean, he holds the ball so long that if he doesn't score, then they're in trouble, because it's no time for anybody else to score, or it's no time to run any type of play or offense, because he just holds the ball. And all I'm saying is, when Austin Reeves has the ball, good things happen. When LeBron has the ball, good things happen. When Luka has the ball, good things happen for Luka. And it's hard to watch. It is extremely hard to watch, because I hate bad basketball. And Luka plays bad basketball. And I don't know other ways to say it, but right now he is killing them. He is killing them. let's not even talk about the fact that he's a liability on the defensive side. I think he gives genuine effort, but he is a bad defender. And so, one, he might give you 3, but he's gonna give the points right back on the other end. So he's a liability when he's on the floor, because defensively he can't guard anybody. So he can't guard anybody, and then on offense he monopolizes the ball to the point that your other stars have no purpose in really being out there. Like, so I think not to denigrate, because it takes time for everybody. Not to say they don't never start, they won't figure it out, but right now they gotta have the ball in Austin and LeBron's hands more. Luka is not playing on the Mavericks. It's not a situation where he needs to have the ball that long. You know what I mean? They run. LeBron knows how to slow the game down, get the best shots. To me, Luka doesn't. Luka just kind of plays wild. His game is kind of all over the place. I really don't understand why they spend so much time with this dude doing that, because I just don't. I don't think it's really needed, if I'm being honest. If he can play the way he plays, that's fine. But when Austin and LeBron are on the court, they're not spot up shooters. Okay, they're not post people to drop the ball off. They're actual ball handlers. That's one of the beauties of what they were doing when Luka first got on the team. In fact, you never knew who was going to be bringing the ball up. Whoever got the ball, get it to one of them. They come up and they get the best shot for everybody else. But it's turning into a weird dynamic while I'm watching it, and it seems as if they're running the offense to Luka, and he's not doing a great job. And he does not have. He doesn't have the bigs that he had in Dallas. So these guys are going to get way higher percentage shots against him than the Lakers are going to get against the teams. So the teams are going to be getting to the hole at will. Jackson Hayes is now starting to come back down to earth. He's not had, his last 2 games have been horrible. He's barely getting minutes. Whether it be foul trouble or whatever word you want to say, they don't have anybody to even really replace him. So he or give him spells, because when he's out of the game, they have literally no big. It forces LeBron and Rory, who are coming off injury, they have to play in that position, and I don't think that's a good thing. To me, it's so many problems right now, and I'm not saying I blame it all on Luka. I'm saying as sometimes it helps defensively to have players who can play. It's not help defensively to have players who can make the plays who can make the plays to put your team in the best position without making you vulnerable on the defensive side. Luka, to me, a lot of times he doesn't get back on defense because he's always complaining when playing and our team misses a shot. So he doesn't make any effort to get back. So he'll miss a shot, and then you got a whole bunch of chaos. Everybody's trying to scramble the cover. He's arguing with the ref. They're running back as they get quick transition points. This happens almost every time he misses a shot because I think he feels guilty. So when you have people that are open and you pass them up to try to get your own shot, which is what he does a lot, it can be frustrating. I mean, you can frustrate the teammates when the shot's not going in. Now they're like, dude, you got to pass the ball, and he's just holding the ball, and then he'll miss it, get knocked down, whatever you want to say. Now it's a quick transition point. Every time Luka penetrates and doesn't make the shot, they generally score. Why? Because he doesn't get back. He'll argue, and the whole time he's arguing, they're going and scoring. So I feel right now, you know what I'm saying, first thing people want to do is they're gonna try to they're going to try to say, well, we don't have a big. And that's true. The biggest problem right now they have is the people are offensive rebounding on them like crazy because they have no. People are getting 2-3 shots at the apple every time down because they have nobody. They're getting boxed out too easily, and nobody can get a rebound outside of LeBron and Luka. And as I said again, if Luka is not getting back, he's not. When LeBron is not on the floor, they can't get rebounds. So it's one of these things where they got an uphill track, and unless Luka changes the way he plays, I cannot see a scenario where that ends up good for them. Because to me, it looks like it's gonna be bad. It's like gonna be real bad. It'll be real bad. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they have. They just don't have the guns to run. They don't have the guns to run and play with the teams that they're playing with. That they're gonna have to play. And Luka's style of play, he's got to get the ball up some more than he does. I think he dominates it way too much. And LeBron's always been able to kind of find his space in the game. And he can do that, but he can't do that when he gets in a rhythm, and then you're watching a game, and him and Austin Reeves are trying. Austin Reeves was killing it. He was literally killing it. Then Luka came back, and he's back to trying to figure out where he fits, and it's hard to fit with Luka because Luka is a very selfish player. He doesn't look for other people. He just looks for his shot and his assist. He doesn't really look. He looks to try to prove that he's the best by scoring and getting assists, but that's not all assists are made the same. And you can't only pass the ball when you think you're going to get an assist. You got to pass the ball when you got to sometimes be the first, and pass to a person who can pass it to a person. You can't always only pass it to a person that you know is going to shoot because you want the assist. That to me, it's not. The comparison to LeBron is completely not good, because LeBron actually look at matchups. He actually moves people around so that they have favorable matchups. Luka doesn't do that, so stop comparing the two because they're not the same. Austin Reeves doesn't do that. Austin Reeves doesn't do what LeBron does, but he runs the offense, meaning he'll give the ball up so somebody else can and be the second assist guy. You know what I mean? He's not he doesn't always have to be the first assist guy. So sometimes he'll penetrate, pass to a person who will pass to a person who can shoot. Luka waits until there's no time left on the clock, and then he'll throw it to somebody who has to shoot it. And a lot of times these people are bricking it or not even in position to take good shots because they know Luka's gonna pass it because it's the only thing left for him to do. So to me, it's just they gotta do something because the Lakers are in trouble if Luka does not change the way he plays. He has to learn how to buy in a personal defense, and secondly, he's got to learn how to use the players around him better. You don't have the team you had in Dallas, y'all. You can't. These players are not. You're not gonna have these players that you can just. These PJ Washingtons and guys that are just role players that are just purely there. And you shouldn't want those players because those players are the reason y'all lost to the Celtics. So I think right now the smartest thing to do is to take the ball out of Luka's hands when y'all playing, because to me it was the variety of ways y'all attack teams with Austin and LeBron also holding the ball. Now y'all become predictable. The offense tends to stag, and it seems to be all about trying to make Luka look good. And to me, it's the winning has become secondary to making him look good. LeBron doesn't look happy. I don't think he looked happy since Luca got there. This whole narrative that LeBron looks so much younger. No, to me, watching LeBron never looked happy. He never looked like he was comfortable with this situation. I don't think he was ever comfortable with losing Anthony Davis because he knew how valuable Anthony Davis was to the defense. He knew how valuable Anthony Davis was when they needed an inside presence. They have no inside presence. They have Jackson Hayes, but they damn near got to spoon feed him points. He can't get his own bucket. So you can't rely on Anthony. You can rely on Anthony Davis to give you what he gives you: defensive anchor and a monster on the offensive side. Luka is a monster on the offensive side with no defensive presence at all, outside of sagging off James Harden 2016, kind of camping out and then sticking his hand out. That's the best you're gonna get from Luka. He's gonna get annihilated off the dribble. Almost like 9 10 times he's gonna get annihilated off the dribble. He can't stay in front of anybody. So the point I'm saying about him is that I don't want to try to act as if the guy is not trying, but trying and doing are two different things. And I don't want to put too much blame on him, but I do think he needs to. That a lot of people were na and the Mavericks, but I'm starting to see what I saw from the get-go because everybody kept saying, well, right now it's like, well, I hate people that their evaluations are result-centered, meaning because good things are happening, people assume that is the finished product. No, it's not the finished product. When Luka first got on the team, LeBron was running most of the offense. LeBron was the ones putting everybody in position and doing it. LeBron got hurt, now it's turned into Luka team, and it does not look the same. It looks bad. It's bad offense. It's Luka holding the ball, Luka being the number one, and Luka not doing well in the number one role, in my opinion. I feel as if his ability, he has to be playing around players that are not that good. Because if he plays around players that are good, he struggles to me to understand when to pass the ball or when to give the ball up. And when he gives the ball up, he generally is doing nothing. So if he doesn't have the ball, he has absolutely no use. He doesn't do anything. So he doesn't have no use as a receiver. He has no use as he's not really that great of a three-point shooter. So catch and shoot 3-point shooter. So it's one of those things where it's like this doesn't look good. It's starting to turn, and it started the minute LeBron got hurt, and they kind of gave the reins over to Luka, and to me, it's been going down, nosediving ever since. People get confused. Luka didn't play. They went on a 3-game streak, but Luka didn't play in one of those games. In 2 of those games, Austin Reeves played in 2 games. And one of those games was against a mostly injured team. And the 3rd game they played against the Denver Nuggets was against a mostly injured team. Before that, they were 0-4 with Luka. They were not a good team. So the minute Luka plays well, they tend to lose because he's only playing well because teams are allowing him to play the way he plays because they understand it's not a good style of basketball. Because he's going to have way more possessions where it's not going to lead to anything than he's going to have possessions that lead to anything. And I think people need to understand that because everybody looks at the end of the game and they see he got 32 points and they assume he played well. And that's crazy to me because he didn't play well. He just didn't pass. And he didn't really give anybody else a chance to have a good game. And that's not something you should be doing when you have Austin Reeves and LeBron on your team. It needs to be more evenly distributed. And I know LeBron has a tendency to just take a backseat and just kind of let the game come to him, and I understand that. But it's times when you gotta say, look, this ain't working. Luka is not a great defensive presence. He's not a great, and to me, he plays bad basketball. And I'll take a player who I'll take somebody like Austin Reeves, which, like I said, you watched Austin Reeves when Luka and LeBron were out. It was dumb. They did not need Luka. They don't need Luka. Austin Reeves can do all the things Luka does. He can do all the things Luka does, and he does not. And he doesn't have an ego to go along with it. Meaning, he can go out and score 15 and not have a problem, and nobody, the media is not going to be on him about that. Luka can't. If Luka has a game where he doesn't score 30, it looks like a bad game. If Austin Reeves has a game where he doesn't score 30, it just looks like it look like he's a person who's a third option. That's the difference. That's the biggest difference between Luka and Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves let's just say Austin Reeves is a better ball handler than Luka is. Austin Reeves is a better passer than Luka is. Right? Not a better passer. Scratch that. Not a better passer. He's a comparable passer to Luka and LeBron. He can play. Why would you give up Anthony Davis when you already have a player that can do the things that Luka does? I don't really understand why you would do that. It seems dumb. It seems like Rob Pelinka made a stupid move, because I think Rob Pelinka was a white basketball player who did not do what, who ended up becoming an agent, then becoming a general manager, because all of them do. Because it's taking care of their own. So think about all the GMs and coaches. It's always the Kerrs, the Paxsons, you know what I mean, the Phil Jacksons. Those are the ones that become coaches. Why? Because they give an opportunity. It trips me out when you look at a guy like Pat Riley. People forget Pat Riley didn't become the coach of the Lakers because he earned it. He had no experience. The only reason why he became the coach of the Lakers is because Magic Johnson hated the guy in front of them. They were already good. They were good before Pat Riley got there. Pat Riley did nothing. Was essentially a game manager. That's why he has so much. He protects Eric Spoelstra so much, because I think Eric Spoelstra to him reminds him a lot of him, because they were kind of the same thing. He was like an assistant. He was like a guy that just like did the, like, you know how they say Eric Spoelstra was the camera guy, the videographer guy. That's kind of what Pat Riley was. He was kind of like a nobody, and they didn't have nobody to coach. So it's like, oh well, let's just make Pat the coach. He filled in one night and was like, okay, let's just make Pat the coach. And that's how Pat Riley's coaching career started. So if you look at a lot of it's a lot of scratch. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Good old boys club, and a lot of them, like I said, you look around and every time there's a guy like that, they tend to get their positions fairly easy. Steve Kerr, he only got there because Mark Jackson got fired for a random reason and has essentially been blackballed ever since. Mostly because he was a Christian guy on the West Coast in San Francisco, and they had a problem with it. So he got blackballed. Mostly because of they said that he used to center a lot of religion into his coaching style, and they didn't like that, so they fired him. The point I'm trying to say is that if you look it up, a lot of these guys get their coach. I mean, look at JJ Redick, prime example. I knew he was going to be, when he wanted to be coach, he can be a coach. But you see the black players where they do podcasts, stuff like that, because that's all they can do. Nobody's going to give them opportunities to be in front offices. Nobody's going to give them opportunity to do that. But Rob Pelinka ends up there, and Rob Pelinka has an obsession with white players. And as good as those white players can be, like the Austin Reeves and even Dalton Connect, and Alex Caruso, he has a propensity to be obsessed with him. He won't trade him. He won't try to get points. He won't try to get anything for him. He'll trade the black players like that. When they had Alex Caruso, he wouldn't trade him. Now, same thing with Austin Reeves. If you're going to go with Luka, why do you need Austin Reeves? At that point, the minute you brought in Luka, you should have been finding a spot for Austin Reeves. But he grows attached to these white players, and he doesn't want to get rid of them. So the minute he got Luka, he should have traded Austin Reeves for a premier big man, but he didn't because he didn't want to lose him. So he kept him, and I think that was the biggest problem. I think that was the biggest thing when it came to them, because now you have 3 ball handlers, 3 guys who essentially do the same thing, and you don't need 3 of them. And by the way, 2 of them are liabilities on defense, and Austin Reeves and Luka. But Austin Reeves is nowhere near the liability that Luka is. Right? At least Alex Caruso was a defensive demon. You know what I mean? Who could still give you points. He was a stalwart. Austin Reeves, Luka, they're not great defensively. So to me, I feel like that was the reason, and it's not fitting. And I could be wrong. Like I said, it's only been 2 games since LeBron is just coming back. Maybe I'm not saying they're not going to figure it out. I'm saying that right now, I would say the problem is stemming from Luka's inability to pass the ball, to not have the ball in his hand. He got to have the ball in his hand less. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Please comment if you haven't, and let me know what you think. Maybe I'm off my rocker with it. Maybe y'all seeing something that I'm not seeing that y'all can enlighten me on. But please speak. Let me know. Thumbs it up if you agree. And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Subscribe. All right, y'all. Peace.